First of all, again, just in a moment where, we had a nice start to the season and a great team win. Just to shout out the teammates that we have that make this all possible. Starts with Chancellor Diermeyer, who was in our post-game celebration. Just appreciate his support. I've talked a lot about driving our program forward and the resources we're going to need and being aggressive. And without him having a vision for the success that we can have, none of that's possible. And then, of course, the best teammate that I could ask for, Candace Lee, who is the best boss in America. So thanks to them. I also want to shout out our facilities team who, I don't know how they did it because, if you were there for the scrimmages, there was a lot of work that needed to be done. But Tom Howard, John Kelly, Andrew Lee, Jordan Meltzer, and the Barton Mallow group too. I mean, walking through the concourse last night, it was incredible, the effort and the hours they put in to get that stadium ready. And I'll be excited for the south end to be done, but what a classy north end of that stadium, and what a great statement for Vanderbilt football, for Vanderbilt University, that we're now on the road to change. And as far as the game goes, that was the full catastrophe. I mean, it had everything that you could ever want as a coach. Some of that you don't want, but I don't know that the script could be written differently for our program, because part of the demons of our past are giving into the adversity that you're going to inevitably face in a football game. And when those waves started to crash, we I think in the third quarter lost our cool a little bit. And we got to learn from that because, we were fortunate to come out on top. And maybe fortunate's the wrong way to put it, because that doesn't give credit to the players and the heart that they played with. Because they went out and won that game. But ultimately, there's going to be so much to clean up. And not to default to coach speak, but look at the execution in the third quarter, some of the fourth quarter, the explosive touchdowns. I mean, you take a lead like we had at halftime, and you come out in the second half and you build to a stop there early, and you put a lot of pressure on them, and we could be talking about a whole different type of victory. But a win's a win, and I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled for, again, our program. I'm thrilled for our players. I think the players that have stuck with this, not many people are tough enough to keep coming back into it, and we demand the highest level of operation here, and we got a bunch of tough players who've been here for now 3 going on 4 years that have continued to fight. We've added a lot of tough people into this program that are helping us get across the line on a day like today. I thank them. I thank our staff that works such long hours, for a win like this. So much sacrifice involved there, and then it's game one. So we're margins away from coming in talking about a disappointing loss. That's the reality. And what we do now is we celebrate this tonight. We wake up tomorrow. We focus on Alcorn State. We focus on improving as a football team. And we didn't show up this season to win one game, Gentry. That was the conversation we had on Tuesday. This isn't about one game. It's about having a good season and what a good season requires. This is a marathon, not a sprint, but we are absolutely going to celebrate a tough, hard-fought team win today. With that, I'm happy to open up for questions. If there are any questions, maybe I just answer them.
What do you think of Diego Pavia, both how you get these stats, but also everything else that goes along with the
The biggest compliment I can pay him, and I speak on behalf of the team when I say this, is when the ball is in his hands, you're never out of the fight. We say in this program, belief is a practice. And that means that your actions, no matter your circumstances, should reflect the deep belief you have that you're going to come out with a positive outcome. And Diego embodies that in everything he does. So whether it's the way he trains, whether it's the way he studies film, certainly the way he competes in practice, and obviously today we saw a warrior out on the field that was going to put the game on his back. And we had a couple of drives there in the third where we weren't able to get rhythm, and again, that was kind of a moment where we had breakdowns in all three phases. But I had no doubts on the 2-minute drive we were going to tie it. I thought we were going to end it with Brock. I'm glad, obviously he hit a critical one early. Love that dude. He'll get more chances, but the team had his back too. And when we went to overtime, I knew we were going to score, and it was just about building to a stop defensively.
What kind of emotions are you feeling? Did you feel after the game, being a Nashville native, playing here? I mean, how special is this?
I see what you're trying to do there, Billy, and I don't appreciate it. No, you guys know me. I'm an emotional person, even though I don't, maybe sometimes the public persona doesn't reflect that. My team knows my emotions, and I feel things very deeply, and this is all personal to me. It's never not going to be personal. And the hard thing sometimes is just continuing in especially moments of adversity, just narrowing your scope. Sometimes you got to let go of the big picture stuff to focus just on the next right thing the right way. And left foot, right foot, breathe. And there's been a lot of that since December. And I think I'm proud of the way this program has modeled resiliency. And I'm proud of our fight. And that is, I can't tell you the number of nights I've had with Barton and Earl and Ben. And, obviously when we brought Jerry on board, Jerry's on that team too. And you put all of it in for moments like this, and these moments are fleeting. And so you hope that there's a broader impact that's being had. And I want that impact to be felt at our university level and on our campus and in the city of Nashville. That's my hometown. And so all of it's personal. My family, my parents, they're all here. So we get to celebrate this together. And then, like I said, I'll wake up tomorrow, exhale, and go back to work.
Everything this offseason was all about new stadium, new players, new coaches coming in. But there was some smoke and mirrors over the last month or so talking to people about what this offense would be. People finally got to see it today. It's fun. It's exciting. There's a lot of options. There's so much going on. What did you think of that, and how exciting is that for you to have this new option on the table?
I want to first just go back to this change element. And there has been a lot of change here. I also think that I don't want to discount the work and investment that's been put into this foundation. The bones that we've methodically set here for 3 years aren't bad, and so, again, it wasn't like starting over. What we needed to do was make a couple of course changes, and not that they were insignificant either, but we needed to make a couple of course changes that allowed us to reach further into our potential. Like today, that was a good team that we played against, and credit to Coach Pry. That program, that's a tough Virginia Tech team. To win against tough teams, it's going to take every ounce that you have. And so, again, those course changes that we worked on, and the hard decisions we had to make and the changes we made, it didn't wipe away the work that's been invested to this point. Now, I'm talking about culture, and you're talking about offense. So let's shift gears. I've had a hard time finding answers for our run game as a defensive coach. That's obviously Tim is the maestro there, but you got to also credit Gali and Coach K for the work they put in. You look at our offense a year ago, and we struggled to run the ball, and so like the first half of that game, you saw the complementary element of who we can be. We generated turnover, we scored touchdowns, we had the field goal, we make stops on defense, and you shorten the game. Now, we fell out of that rhythm in the third quarter, and that left us exposed. But I think we have a great staff, and then we have good players too. And there's more for those guys. I think you saw the run game. Obviously, Diego, what he does, the motions, the options like you talk about, the RPO stuff, the shots. Eli Stowers had a big catch for us on the sideline. And yet there's going to be meat on the bone too. Like we got more that we can do there. Quincy is a half a step away from breaking a glance on an RPO, and he's a big, strong pass catcher. Junior Sherrill. There's so many guys. So yes, it's exciting. I think at least for 3 quarters today, we painted in focus the vision of what this program needs to be, and now moving forward, it's going to be how do we capture a 4-quarter effort.
You mentioned the process over the last 3 years that you think has been pretty sound.
Yeah, and I want to be careful because we're not done, with our process. I mean, like I said, I think we're gonna dislike more than we like in the performance, and I'm not trying to be a wet blanket either. But that's just the nature of coaching, and we're not done with our process. There's still a lot of hard work ahead, but you'll never get validated, and nor should you. I mean, this is a results-driven business. It is what it is, and you, at some point, words and actions have to intersect, and they have to drive results. And so, yes, it is validating in a lot of ways, and we're gonna be proud of that. And yet, I mean, to get where we want to go and where I see this program going, it's going to take more and more and more. So we're not satisfied. Certainly, we're happy to be 1-0, but we're going to focus now on Alcorn State and putting together the best effort we can. But yes, the results are important to validate the vision and mission.
Clark, as you continue to build this, how important is it and how proud are you of the way they come back from that touchdown down the fourth quarter, then the missed opportunity at the end of regulation to win a game like this?
Well, super proud. And like I said, I think that for us, I mean, you could try to look for, again, everything you experience. What are the lessons? What it's the teaching? What's the moment meant for? And I think the response of our team was really important because we have caved under that pressure in our past. And some of that past includes me, and some of that past was before me. And like I said, this idea of belief being a practice, I could see it in the defensive players' eyes and body language. And I mean, I want to be really clear. We lost it in the third quarter now. I mean, that was sloppy. And we were able to pull it back together. And but the look in their eyes, heading into that overtime sequence, even they were able to get some yards early, but just, God, the battle back was so cool to see. And so it's incredibly meaningful. It's a great lesson for us to step into that belief, snap in, snap out. Again, you're never out of the fight. And, I'm proud of the way they demonstrated that today.
How big was the pass rush today, especially what you got from your front four?
Yeah, it was big. And I think the way we ended the first half in particular, I think if I were to go back, I mean, I called a timeout there for us to get the ball back. And then, we ended up punting it back to them, and that's not necessarily the intention was to go add another score and come into the half with some breathing room. But the fact that we were able to go out there and have a four-man rush that was able to, again, with the penalty, sack the quarterback. So, yeah, we got pressure on them. I thought, there were a lot of guys that contributed to that, and, we got to keep that up.
Going into overtime, you had just missed that kick, and then you have to get the ball first. How do you approach that, and how was the team able to kind of maintain that composure to be able to score that touchdown?
It's just not bigger than focusing on what you need to do in the moment. I mean, there's not a lot of, I think you do as a coach try to capture the moment and shift focus not to what's just happened or what may happen, but what we need to do right now. But a lot of that is in the training, So there's just, again, I had full faith and confidence in the way we were playing offensively that we were going to score. It was no surprise to me that we did. I was really focused on how we were going to generate a stop defensively, and I'm proud of the players because they were in that moment too. And I get teams of our past would have held on to some of those things. This team didn't, and we're able to celebrate because of it.
One more.
Yeah, and I just want to say this is a mentality. It takes time to change an environment. It takes time to change a mindset. And that's not just for the team. I think that's everyone that interacts with this program. I mean, look, we want to build a team that inspires people to show up. I want that stadium to be sold out with people in black and gold. And today it wasn't. And our job is to change the mentality in every aspect. It starts here locally. It starts with how we approach our work and the product we put on the field. My understanding is that they had to turn students away today. I mean, that is an incredible statement. And I want to thank our student body for showing up and supporting this team. That means a lot to me. And there are a lot of people out there that are just waiting to see us follow through. And I hope that, a performance, a gutty performance like's on display today, inspires people to do that. So the statement about past teams is it has nothing to do with judging them. That was a process we had to go through. The reason this team's different is because we've learned from that experience. The guys that stay with us have experienced those feelings and that frustration in the past. In our day and age in college football, they all had to choose to come back, and they made that choice. And they chose to come back because of the belief they have. And there are plenty of guys that didn't choose to come back, and we're better for that, right? And then we add in people that step in with the belief and the vision for our success. And then you mix that together with the staff that's had a lot of success. And again, some of it is, Coach Gill coming in and saying, hey, look, man, there's a lot of good things that we're doing here. Here are a couple things that we should look at, maybe driving alignment a little differently, or, that kind of thing. But that's the formula. And we couldn't beat a 1-0 in year 4 without experiencing all of it. Or at least, if we hadn't experienced it, any of this would have been fake, right? But we've earned it the long, hard way. And again, success and these moments are fleeting. We got to be able to celebrate it today, and we got to shift gears tomorrow and get back to work. But I'm proud of the team. I'm also proud of our past teams, and I've learned a lot along the way too, and so it's made me better. And I think that's the name of the game: is how are you improving? How are you getting to your highest level? And as I go, the program will go. So, this has been a great start to our season, but it's just a start. There's a lot of season left. Here's to getting back to work and finding higher levels of play. I'm not sure. I was so focused on the field, so I don't want to make comment on KT right now. But obviously, he wasn't out there for us at the end. But I don't have much other than that. Thanks.
The fourth down play in overtime, what did you see there?
Are you talking about the last snap?
Yeah.
Okay. I felt like they were trying to isolate. I felt like they were looking for a one-on-one. We used the timeout just to try to kind of see what formation they were going to use. I did not want the game to be tied on a one-on-one 50-50 ball. I just don't feel like, I think your instinct in that moment is to pressure. And we had pressured a little bit early, and in man, one of the tailback screen for a touchdown was a zero pressure where, they got us. Good call, bad call on my part. The long over they hit to number 83 was a pressure where we just, the pattern wasn't right. And so I just didn't want to see the ball go up in a one-on-one situation and us play another overtime because of it. So we were in cover 2, and we made sure that we forced the quarterback to go somewhere else. I wish we would have done a better job compressing the pocket. But we had enough eyes back there and awareness to end the game. So that was the thought process.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
We'll get the players in.